I had the elbow, wrist, hand, like finger pain from overuse in jujitsu. So that lasted, I overdid it. It was to the point where I couldn't even brush my teeth properly. I had to
Wow.
take, I had to switch my hands all the time. I couldn't hold a pot, even not even like filled with water. I couldn't hold a pot. It really affected everything. Um, After a long time of rest, it had gotten better, so it plateaued. But from that plateau, nothing ever improved, and I couldn't do anything about that. I just thought that weightlifting would help. I thought that I just needed to, gain some more strength. And then I would go to my PT friends for advice, and that helped for a little bit, but it wouldn't last. And like I said, that plateau, I could never beat it, and I just thought that that was just how it would be. I just damaged it, and it would be that way forever. But yeah, we started end of or like mid to end of last year, I think.
Like 4 months ago.
Yeah, 4 months ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's right. And then we ran into the problem of my eating.
Which we
So,
discovered accidentally.
which I had no idea was a problem.
I didn't know either
I
until
really had no idea it was an issue. That it would affect me the way it did. But Coach Chung, he pointed out that uh, I realized I was eating really late at night, and it was due to a lot of stress and just really bad habits, really bad relationship with eating. But I genuinely didn't know that it was a problem or that it would affect my healing at all. And it has gone much better since then. I mean, knowing all the dangers of the binge eating and how the HGH wouldn't kick in or anything. My sleeping was all wrong. That really changed a lot of things too. So once we got a better grasp of that, that was already like, man, almost 3 months, was it? It was a while in. But after that, I think it's really taken off for sure. It wasn't just the elbow and the hand pain. It actually had like I also had problems hips and down. So my knees would pop, and I'd be like incapacitated for like a few months, like 3 to 5 months. Um, and then the feet were also bothering me too. It was pronating, I think. So yeah, I was developing bunions, and I was really uncomfortable just walking at all. But I don't have that at all anymore. The knee will still pop once in a while, but I realize now through our work that's mostly out of just habit and my technique and how I'm doing it. So we're working on that too, and we've been working on that. But the healing process has been so much faster. Like I said, I was uncomfortable just walking around, just walking, and that doesn't happen anymore. I couldn't. I had problems finding shoes because I just thought it was a shoe problem, and so I just switched shoes multiple times, but that didn't do anything. So yeah, it's a world better, and I know that it's only going to get even better
what
as
did
I.
your friends say about your strength and what program they think you were on?
Yeah. I won't name the program, but I started a weightlifting program right before I found you. I think I've been looking at you for a while, looking at your work, and I was really intrigued. But I also just didn't know if I should just pull the trigger. So before that, I was working on a weightlifting program, and that was for about a month. And it was just weightlifting, and I remember distinctly thinking if I did any kind of squat motion or like deadlift motion, that my left foot felt funny. I couldn't feel comfortable in my feet. My feet felt so wrong. I don't know how to describe it, but I was just really uncomfortable. And so the weightlifting kind of exacerbated that, I think. And then finally found you. And then we've been working on it. My friend today, when I was training in jujitsu, he you know, I'd taken a break from jujitsu for a little bit too, trying to heal. But he saw me and then he was like, wow, you like that weightlifting program really helped. Cause when I saw him last, it was pretty much when I was doing that. It was during that month. And I was excited about that because it was like a new venture, right? But then I obviously quit that. And then he says like, well, it's really working. Like you're really freaking strong. And yeah, I mean, he'd rolled a lot, but before me. So I don't know if it was just me, but yeah, he was down and out pretty much the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
And you found about me through Coach Ben, right?
I did.
So
Yeah.
Coach Ben didn't disappoint either, right?
No, no, not at
He
all.
was not lying.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I knew that he knew stuff, so I really trusted his word. And then I started following your Instagram and then I started seeing what your words were as opposed to what Ben was kind of just like highlighting once in a while. So I got to see both of that and I was very intrigued and it really did pay off. It just makes sense. I remember all the time because I never was an athlete. And then, so when I started doing jujitsu and then I was like recommended to do weightlifting and I started doing that, I remember thinking like, why are we doing it? Why is it like just arm day and then just leg day and then like core day or like something like that, right? And that never really made sense to me. So the moment you started talking, like just, you know, unleashing about all this like tensegrity and the unification of your body, that like makes complete sense. Like it makes no sense if I just have like one strong segment of my body and none of the rest of my body isn't working, cooperating the way it should. And it definitely shows in jiu-jitsu too. Like it's much, much freer movement wise.
So talk about the difference in glutes, because a lot of people don't understand this concept. Try your best to explain what you had before and
Yeah.
what you had now. What you have now.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't understand. I like laughed when you said that to me. You're like, when we first started like the toe curls and the meditation and the really foundational beginner movements, you told me that you should be feeling your glutes and your abs. And I was like, that's not happening at all. I only
Nothing.
feel
Right, nothing when we started.
like, yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about. It was like from there to here, like why would I feel that at all? That took actually I remember I did feel eventually pretty soon after I started I did feel it. Um but it was just a twinge, you know. I was like maybe that was it, but I didn't really know. But yeah, and to describe it, the burn starts to move. You start to feel the sensation kind of drift from one place to another. I think I'm still a beginner to be honest, but when I do like any kind of toe curls, a lot of the burn still is in my foot, but I can actually feel it move from the foot, then up the like front of my ankle, then up through my calf, then it'll sit kind of in the upper calf, and then move up to like the base of my hamstring, and then all of a sudden you'll start feeling something in your glute. And then only recently I started to feel anything in my abs, where it wasn't the hyperarch hop. Hyperarch hop, I think that it was much easier to trigger my abs, I guess, but now I'm starting to feel it in a more roundabout way.
Yeah, both abs and glutes
Yeah,
are co-contracting while you are moving now.
yeah. And running too. You told me that like you'd feel it running, and I laughed in your face because I was like, that's not gonna happen. But now I actually feel that every single time. I will run through the halls of my apartment with my dog, and I feel it then. I run like across fields in the park running with my dog. I feel it then. Anything, I'll feel it in my glutes. It'll just immediately start burning, and I wouldn't have any way of explaining it otherwise.
Right. So where is your contact point? Is it your heels or where do you land?
Mostly the balls of my feet.
Yeah, naturally, right?
Yeah. But
There's some.
even if it was the heel, I remember when especially when I mean, before any of this, I do remember like I really avoided jumping down things. I naturally I just avoided jumping down things, and I because it would hurt my heel, and I think to myself like, oh, I don't want to jump that, like my heel is gonna hurt, and then I would just walk around every single time. But I remember like landing on my heel even now, because like I just went hiking and like I had to jump down rocks and I didn't feel any pain. It was just like, oh yeah, like my foot has engaged and I feel more protected. My body instinctively feels safer just moving around.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the fascia web protection.